I never imagined a simple joke could unravel everything. It wasn't even meant to be cruel or serious. It was just words thrown into the air after a long day, a moment of nervous humor. I laughed and said it, hoping he'd roll his eyes and shake his head like he usually does. "Imagine if I slept with your best friend," I said, letting the words linger in the quiet of our living room. At first, nothing happened. He didn't move. He didn't even blink. There was just this weight settling between us, a heaviness that hadn't been there a moment before. And then the phone rang. I ignored it. I wanted the moment to pass, the tension to dissolve like it always did. But he didn't touch the phone. He didn't speak. He just stood there rigid, staring at the floor. I tried to laugh it off. "I'm kidding," I said, my voice higher than usual. "It's just a joke." But he didn't smile. He didn't even exhale. His eyes, normally warm, were sharp and cold, like something inside him had switched off. I didn't understand at first. I couldn't. How could a harmless joke do this? I thought he would brush it off, tell me to stop being dramatic. But instead, he walked out of the room, his footsteps heavy against the hardwood floors, and I heard the front door click behind him. I called after him, but he didn't answer. The silence that followed wasn't the comforting silence of a home settling for the night. It was the silence of distance, of a line drawn in the sand that I had unknowingly crossed. I tried to tell myself I was overreacting. I tried to convince myself that this wasn't as bad as it felt. But deep down, I knew something had shifted irreversibly. The next day I noticed the small signs. His coffee mug wasn't in its usual place. His clothes weren't in the bedroom where he left them. And there was this tension, a static in the air whenever he spoke, even when it was about mundane things like bills or work schedules. I asked him what was wrong. He said nothing. But when I looked at him, I could see it. The storm behind his calm, the carefully restrained anger, the kind of hurt that doesn't fade with apologies or explanations. I wanted to reach him, to bridge the distance that had grown overnight, but every word I tried to say seemed wrong. Every attempt to joke, to explain, to soften the moment only made it heavier. He stopped laughing at my jokes. He stopped leaning into me when we sat on the couch. He started keeping his phone close, checking messages I couldn't see, and moving through the house as if he were a guest, not the man I had married. And then the letter arrived. I wasn't expecting it. I thought maybe we could talk, maybe we could untangle the misunderstanding, maybe he would realize the joke was harmless, that it didn't mean anything. But the envelope on the counter said it all before I even opened it. Divorce papers. My hands shook as I held it, my mind spinning. How could a single offhand comment become the end of everything we built together? I read the papers over and over. Each word felt like a knife, precise and deliberate. No room for discussion. No space for negotiation. Just a decision made, a path taken, and I wasn't part of it. I felt the room spin around me, the walls closing in as I remembered every laugh, every shared morning, every late-night conversation we once had. It all seemed fragile now, a house of cards collapsed by a single careless comment. And the worst part, he didn't even try to explain, didn't ask me why I said it, didn't attempt to understand. He had already decided, already drawn the line. I felt anger, sure, but also this hollow shock, a disbelief that the person I trusted most could pivot so completely in a moment. There were so many things I wanted to say, so many things I wanted to explain, but I knew they wouldn't matter. Not now, not anymore. I sat there for hours, rereading the papers, trying to comprehend how we got here. I thought about the joke, how flippant it had seemed, how little weight I had given it. But sometimes, words are heavier than we realize. They can linger, embed, and twist into something far more serious than their intent. I had never considered that my humor, my attempt at lightness, could be interpreted as betrayal, or as a signal of something more profound that I wasn't ready to give. And now, everything was changed. I looked around our apartment, at the photographs on the walls, at the shared memories scattered across the shelves, and it all felt like someone else's life. His absence was deafening, and I realized that the joke I thought was harmless had become the fracture that split us apart. The man I had married, the man I trusted, had decided that there was no repair, no explanation, no second chance. I was left with the echo of my words, with the understanding that even a momentary thoughtless comment can have permanent consequences. The home we built, the life we shared, the plans we whispered to each other at night, they were gone because of a joke I never thought would matter.